I think the monthly theme is what? Transcendent purpose? I think transcendent purpose. But today we're going to talk about the elevation of awareness. And how do you say this? I am feeling like when we talk about things like this, the elevation of awareness, I said, I think I'm preaching the same thing over and over again. So when when Maureen called me Friday night and said, I think you're going to have to do the Sunday talk. I said, I got a full Saturday. How am I going to do that? But then when I started reading the notes that she sent me about what the topic was today, elevation of awareness, I realized that what I can talk about is my understanding of this topic, because it is the cornerstone of my life right now, is trying to raise my awareness and my consciousness so that I'm feeling like I'm living more fully from the place of the divine presence. And the person that wrote these notes, the affirmation they gave us was, I elevate my awareness through the practice of the presence of God. I mean, all of us are here for that. I mean, think about that. We're here because we want to know and understand how we can live this truth that we bought into. We bought into the awareness and understanding in this philosophy that the divine presence is everything in existence, that who and what we are is that divine presence expressing life on this plane and at this time. And one of the things that I feel that forever that is coming through more than ever is the need for us to embrace that at a higher level. And what we are doing in this process as we gather here as friends, as relationships, in people on this path, is open our hearts and our mind. And through the greetings that we give each other, the message that is shared, and music, and all the aspects of these services that we do here, is to help us to live from that place, not just know it, not just read it, not just to study it, but to actually live from a place of understanding and knowing that we are that divine presence in expression. And elevating our consciousness, we cultivate these tools that we are using. We cultivate them from a place that to help us step into a greater awareness. And I being around this, for a while, I see that it's not just us. It is the world that is stepping into this understanding and awareness. And I know that people keep saying, oh, it's so bad. But you know what? And back in the 70s, they said we were weird, we were crazy. I mean, when we even talked about it, they knocked it. But today is common understanding that the divine presence is who and what we are, that we are really this infinite intelligence coming into expression, and it is finding its way on this plane to experience the newness of being through each one of us. And this is the awareness that we are able to feel. And I think everybody here has probably felt more lived one of those moments when you knew just with all your heart that spirit was flowing through you. Now, it gets bigger and greater and more expanded, and you get these light bulbs that goes off and say, yes, I am on the right path. Well, they increase and increase. And I know that they are happening even more than ever because I find that when I listen to the different ministers that really are teachers out there, as a matter of fact, I keep telling people, I went to my traditional church, who was Methodist, where I grew up, and the guy kept saying, you got to know that God is in you. You got to, and I said, oh my goodness, they have shifted. You know, it isn't about getting the devil out of you. They're saying you got to know that God is in you. So, you know, so it's everywhere. And then I'm working with my niece who's trying to get a master's in health studies or something. And she has this class about holistic medicine. And one of the things that they were learning how to do is you got to learn how to listen to your heart and not your head. And we are constantly trying to understand and embrace the idea that the love, the joy, and the peace and harmony that we thought was out there is in here. And we are trying to figure out how to do it. And listening to your heart is a very powerful statement. Doing it? It's a challenge, at least for me. I don't know. A lot of you probably may not see it that way, but it is a little bit of a challenge sometimes to come from your heart. And I know that it is a powerful thing to be. And we got all these tools to try to help us align ourselves with this awareness, right? So what we want to do is not only hear the teachers, not only hear the philosophical readings, the tools, but be able to know and understand that we are all on this journey right now. And as we are standing in our awareness, our perception of life, that we're standing in it knowing and understanding that whatever we are doing is taking us to a high level of awareness. That consciousness alone is so powerful, it has been for me, to know that each and everything that is happening, each and everything that's taking place is taking place from a place of me gaining an understanding that the wisdom, the love, the joy, the beauty, and all those qualities that I am reaching for are already here. I just have to know how to line up my awareness and belief system to such a level that that's what flows forth into expression. And it does. And it flows forth more and more, the more I say, the stronger my belief is, the more it flows forth. And it's such a powerful energy that the fear of how and what we're supposed to do and how we are to perform, that fear dissipates. You know, we are powerful. And I think Marianne Williamson, when she said that thing about us being, what we're most afraid of is that power. And if you think about it, if you claim that power and are able to say and declare it as the truth, you can live that power. That's what this philosophy says. You know, you can live it moment by moment. Every moment in your life, you can live it. And you can expand and grow from good to greater good. Now, I mean, we have learned by a lot of mistakes, and we have learned by a lot of things that have been told to us from other people. But one of the things that I'm finding is that the more I tune into the inner teacher, the more newness and expanded experience of joy flows forth in my life. So it's not, each one of us is the source for that good that we're seeking. Now, how it shows up is very individual. No two of us are demonstrating the same thing. But the essence, that thing that they say never changes and never shifts, that essence is our essence, and we are living from that place. So the more we can feel the heartfelt alignment, the more it will flow with ease and grace in everything we do. In our relationships, in our work, and all the other experiences. Finding a happy medium where we can be okay and not feel like we got to go into shame, guilt, control, and those qualities that kind of keep us stuck in our history. As we move to that cutting edge of knowing that we are the way in which the newness of life is coming forth. And we're coming from an awareness and understanding that has been given to us by so many teachers. And that awareness is that creating a new moment by moment is how spirit operates. It doesn't have to go back and get anything. It's totally within itself right here, right now. So any of those historical mistakes or misunderstandings and stuff, they're just history. We don't need to bring any of that back up here. We start with this wonder, this beauty, this greatness, this infinite intelligence, and step into the newness and see what it can bring forth. The wisdom and the genius of being is totally within each of us. And learning how to come from life in that place is what this journey is about. So elevating our awareness and understanding, it's life. And it's available to all of us. I think that most issues that I have seen or experienced or counseled people with is holding on to yesterday and what I did wrong and how I can fix. And that fix thing, that's the fix. Oh, God, that's been one of my big ones. Fixing things. Yesterday happened. Today, stop fixing yesterday. I keep telling myself that, and didn't find myself trying to fix. But I'm telling you, letting go of the fixing and just live life from this moment forward. Everything that has happened to us has brought a greater understanding of life to us. And each one of us has the ability to bring the newness. And if you want to really identify the infiniteness of spirit itself, look at nature. Nature is my best teacher. I love the trees. Yeah, I upset when they trim my trees, and I thought about it, and I was looking at them recently, and I said, wow, y'all didn't protest or nothing. You're now just blooming out with all these pretty leaves and looking all good. And no sadness, no looking back. That's why Mother Nature does it for us. But elevating our awareness of this presence all comes down to learning how to hear that heart. And when I think about 72, years ago when we, in colleges, and we threw away the idea that the spirit wasn't a part of us and learned it was an aspect of our being. So we began to have degrees and stuff in spirituality. So when I was reading that paper, reading those, I was trying to help her figure out something. That paper with my niece, and it was talking about creating a place of hearing things from your heart. I realized it is no longer something that's in a church only or in a religious group. It is life. It is how we want to live and develop life itself. There's so many different ways in which we can experience life. Yesterday I met, what are they called? Acupuncturist. And she was from China. And she was doing an explanation. And what I found out later is that she's an MD in China. But here she could only practice her acupuncture. So she was explaining the difference. And she said, the richness of both. And she said, you can learn to combine it. And she said, the herbs and natural way in which the acupuncturist approaches life is one thing. The chemical and scientific way that the medical people in this country is doing. And she said, but each one has its gifts and its blessings. And I said, yeah, that's what I wanted to hear. And she said, I find myself marrying both of them together to create her career that she has. She says she doesn't leave anything behind. And that's the kind of thing that when I hear that, I realize that over the years, we are learning how to, those things that sometimes we knocked and judged, they brought some kind of gifts to us. And things that I was objecting to sometimes before have brought gifts to me. And some of when I fell down in life, I call it falling down when you have these challenges, where when I got back up, they end up contributing to me so many ways. So I didn't need to go back and judge them or knock them. I would like to know how to not bring them back into my life totally, but that's the journey. That's the journey all of us are taking. But I think that when we look at the tools, and this is going to be a short talk here. All right. When y'all look at the tools that we have been given and utilize them, but utilizing them from the place of understanding and being aware that we are the divine. We are the source. We are the one with the source. We are the source in manifestation. And that we are creating newness of being. It's just fascinating. Whether you're using treatment, whether you're using meditation, whether you're using historical teachings, whatever you're using to discover the awareness and understanding of who and what we are, honoring ourselves is what this is about. Honoring the idea that our journey, if I have it focused, that I am going to express my divine being. And that divine being is all-knowing, all-powerful, and truly one with all that there is. That framework. And one more nugget before I go. If you think about it, and quantum physics, I mean, that's another one. Quantum physics has shown us that the element and behind everything is the same. There's a unified. That doesn't change. But how it is expressed and manifests is unique. It can be that chair. It can be that being. It can be the card. It can be a lot of things. And it's according to us pulling it together in this world of perception that how it manifests. And it's individual how we present it. So it's not like we have to do it any particular way for somebody else. It's each genius, each mind, each consciousness, each being being willing to accept that I have a journey of spiritual understanding and awareness. And as I open myself up to it, the newness of life comes forth. And one of the things that I do that I feel like it helps me more than anything is treat. So I want to close with a treatment, can I? One in which we understand and recognize that the spiritual presence of life, that which created all things, that divine power out of which all things can be created, the newness of it, the expanded understanding of it, we allow ourselves as wondrous beings to bring forth into new expression our own uniqueness, and we gift it to the world. We gift that which we understand and love and appreciate. We gift the ability to embrace life fully. We gift the ability to appreciate who and what we are. We gift the joy that is ready to blossom from our hearts. And whether it comes forth in words, thoughts, or deeds, we honor it, for we know and understand that we truly are the divine presence saying yes to life. And for this, I am so grateful. For this, I say, bless all that come into my experience. And I joyfully allow it to come forth through the law of being as I say yes, yes, yes. Each one of us has a new beginning. right here, right now. And we acknowledge it by saying, so it is.